So what I'm going to do now is a beautiful orange and polenta cake, okay? It's a really lovely recipe. It works every single time. Just because it's a wood oven doesn't mean you can't do desserts. Now, historically, they would have had little tins like this with little lids, and they would have sunk it in ash and then put the lid on top and put the ash on top, and you'd have been able to slow cook all sorts of lovely desserts. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is a beautiful orange and polenta cake. You can do desserts really successfully in the wood oven. At the end of the day, I tend to do them when the oven temperature's gone down and it hits around 180, 170 degrees. I still use these traditional little thermometers here just to sort of see what the temperature is. So I'm kind of confident that I'm not going to burn it or undercook it. So I've got that in there. It's 180 at the moment. So this lovely recipe is dead simple. 1 pack of softened butter goes in. Just nick a little bit of that butter and put it on the wrapper that you got it in. And just smear that around a little 8-inch port mould with a removable bottom. You could use a cheesecake mould if you want to, but this is about 4 inches, 5 inches deep by 8 inches. So that's rubbed with butter. 250 grams of butter goes in there. 250 grams of nice unrefined sugar. You could use caster if you wanted to. Also, I'm just going to sort of stab that up first and give it a mix. I just sort of squash the sugar in, and then I can sort of start to beat it. As soon as you start to beat it like that, then what I want to do is add the next ingredients. I've got 125 grams of polenta. Comes in packets like that. You can get it everywhere these days in all the supermarkets. So 125 grams of that. 3 large free-range eggs go in. That's going to make it rise a little bit, but then to make it properly rise, I'm going to use a heaped teaspoon of baking powder. That goes in. A little pinch of salt, just to season the flour, and I'm going to use 50 grams of flour. And then to flavour it lightly, I'm going to use the zest of 1 orange. There we go. And then just slowly mix that up until you get a nice sort of thick batter. It's basically, once you've dumped it all in, it's dead simple. Great to get the kids doing it as well. If you want to do it with lemon flavour instead of orange, you absolutely can, or you could do lemon and orange and lime. So once you've mixed all that up, 200 grams of ground almonds. I knew I'd forgotten something. So that goes in, great for flavour. And we're really using the ground almonds instead of the flour. We just put a little bit in there. Here we go. Okay, so now you've mixed all that in. If you want to, you can spice it, cinnamon, cloves. If you want to, you can put a little vanilla through if you want to. But I'm going to go straight in here into that mould. And the nice thing is, you know, when using the wood oven, you know, you kind of, generally what I tend to do is fast cooking things, roasts, cooking fish, meat, bread, stuff like that, first in the day. And as the oven's cooling down, that's a perfect time for doing slow cooking or desserts. So just using that little thermometer just to sort of reassure me that it's 180 degrees, that's perfect. So once that's in, all you got to do is pop that sort of around the centre of the oven, close the door. If you've got little valves like this, just have them sort of half open. That should maintain its sort of 180 degrees status for around about 25 minutes. But go in sort of about half an hour in, you can shift the little tin around so it's got even heat, and also just check the temp. If it's gone down to 160, you can just get a little bit of kindling and just throw it up. A few little extra bits of kindling will just take the heat slowly up and keep it around. If it's around about 170 to 185, That's the sweet spot. That's a really, really good thing. So that cooks now for around about 55 minutes to about an hour and 10 minutes, depending on your oven temperature. And when that's cooked, I'll show you exactly how you can tell if it's cooked or not. Okay, so the orange and polenta cake's had an hour now. Let's have a little check. Let's have a look at that. Beautiful. You can see it's got nice and golden on top there. Let's have a little... I'm just going to get my cloth here, hold one side, and then push up. That's why we want the retractable bottom. Oh. Nearly. That would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's get this big bangle off my arm. Beautiful. Now let me show you how you can check if it's cooked or not. Really, really simple. Get yourself a little knife or a cocktail stick. Just go in one of the little cracks and just slip it in right to the bottom. Hold it for 3 seconds. Take it out. If it comes out clean, which that is, it's cooked. If it's a bit sticky, then you need to put it back in the oven and carry on cooking it. But that's good. I mean, the nice thing, if I can just show you, let me just take this off here, straight onto a cooling rack. The nice thing about this is when you cook in wood ovens, you know, you do get like this side is slightly darker than that side. Sometimes it just catches a little bit on the bottom. Ultimately, you don't want it to be like cremated, you know, but the beautiful thing about wood oven pastries, baking, cakes, is you get this kind of personality, and it is not perfect all the way around like in a perfect normal oven. The other thing is, like, if you ever do like creme caramels or creme brulees, and lemon tarts where you put sugar on the top, you fire that bad boy up so it's really hot and it just caramelises the whole top so quickly you wouldn't believe. So, you know, the wood oven and pastries and cakes, absolutely phenomenal. All I'm going to do to this now is put it onto a little cake stand like that. So what I've made here is like a little syrup. I've got the juice of one orange, about the same amount of water and about 100 grams of sugar, and I've just made like a nice little syrup. If you want to make it a little bit more acidic, you can put a little lemon juice in there as well. I'm just going to bring that syrup, I've simmered that for about 5 minutes. What I like to do is just like prick this all over like that and just pour this in, and it will just sink through, and that will give you the most beautiful sort of orangey flavour, just drizzling all the way through it. Just get yourself a fork and just prick it around, and it will make little holes. And then literally the syrup will just go down those holes, and when you cut through it, you'll just have a little kind of avenue of beautiful syrup there with that lovely orange flavour. But let that cool down now for an hour. Serve that nice little wedge with some creme fraiche or vanilla ice cream, some raspberries or strawberries, and that will be absolutely beautiful.